Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals, and today I have a journaling video for you. And this is my reading journal. The book I'm documenting is called Packing Light by Alison Felon, or she was also known as Alison Westerfeld. I own this book, and it's one of those books that I give 5 stars to. It's a book I keep going back to. I read it every few years or so, and I liken this book to Elizabeth Gilbert's Eat, Pray, Love, in that both of these books sort of meet me where I am, and it doesn't matter kind of what stage of life I'm in or what season I'm going through, I can find comfort in these two books, and they speak to me in different. It meets me where I'm at, and it's really interesting how that happens. It could be in a completely different season, and yet it will speak to me in that season in a different way, which is really cool. So again, one of the reasons why I like reading it every few years, because it will speak to me in a different way, or it will speak to me in the same way, but because I'm in a different place. It's cool to revisit that and see maybe how I've changed or grown, and also as just a good reminder of things that this book comforts me in and encourages me in and teaches me. I'm a human. I can so easily forget the lessons that I learn, and so this book is very much one that I turn to if I am struggling, for example, struggling with life. The way I sort of describe this book is that it is about what to let go of and what to hold on to and how to know the difference. So essentially it's about baggage. And I very much, just really relate to this book so much. And it's by a Christian author, and she writes about, being a writer and being a Christian, and she writes about life and living and the struggles of life and all that kind of thing. So very much relate to it and right off my alley. She talks about, simple living, or makes me think of simple living with the things that she talks about what we leave behind, and living, how when we live a slower, simpler life, when you go away on holidays or you go camping, often it's a time of stillness and reflection, and often you think differently during those times because you've got a different perspective and you see things through new eyes, and it might make you go back into your normal life and change some things. And I've really found that in my life whenever I've gone on holidays or gone away for a week or whatever, it makes me reflect on my life and see things a bit differently, and makes things a bit more clearer and helps with decision making and all that kind of thing. Puts your life in perspective. And I really related to this line here that I wrote about how Ali talked about how she was afraid of both the chaos and the unknown, but also afraid of the mundane and predictable. Or maybe I put that into my words, but this idea, there's phases of my life where it has just been so routine, so ho-hum, the same day in, day out, and it's just very, very boring. And then there's other times in my life where it is very stressful and busy and chaotic, and times where it's full of the unknown and it's very scary that way. And it's this idea of like she was always chasing, or she kept waiting for all the pieces to fit in her life, house, job, marriage, and a time when it's like, oh, this is it now, where it all comes together. But the idea that life is always in flux, I guess, that kind of concept that life will always have its different seasons, and each season will have its own set of challenges. There's never a season of I've made it, I've got it all together now, because the next season might be the chaos, and the season after that might be the boring, and the season after that might be the unknown, and the season after that might be the mundane, and so it's just about, I guess, not, well, for me, what it teaches me or tells me is not necessarily that it's about wanting something different, wanting to be in a different season, but just being right where you are. And the seasons change. How many of you can relate to this idea where you're in a season and you just think it's going to last forever? I've thought that on occasions, And what I have learned is that no season has ever lasted in my life, ever. Not one season has ever lasted. And so all those times that I thought this is never going to change, I was wrong. So yeah, to just appreciate that, yeah, life can change very quickly sometimes and very suddenly and unexpectedly. I really, really liked what she talked about in the book about how especially Christians can look for the right path by looking for what feels easy. And that was me. I really related to that this to the second time or third time of reading the book, where I think I've always had this idea of, I will know life is right or good or it's all together and I've made it, when life is comfortable and easy. And life is never ever going to be easy and comfortable. It's something that I've learned and learned to accept and to embrace, that life will always have its challenges, its losses, its pain, and we will always make mistakes, we will always be hurt, we will always hurt others, and we just, it's about accepting this reality, and not, wishing for something different that doesn't exist, because that's just a life of pain right there, wishing for something that doesn't exist. But learning to, for me anyway, this is what I've come to, is just to go with it, lean into it, feel it all, and know that it's just part of life, that you're not doing something wrong or that you're a bad person just because life is challenging sometimes, and that every day is a chance to bring light and love into the world. And yes, every day we may fail at that, but the next day is another day we can try to bring light and love into the world again. And so it's how to manage that pain, it's how to manage the challenges, it's how to respond to them. That's what we can control. We can't control the hurts and pains that come along the way, but what we can control is how we respond. And so we can forgive, and we can apologize, and we can grow, and we can learn, and we can cry when we need to cry, and we can rejoice when we need to rejoice, and we can just, do life as it is instead of wishing for something different or something else. I like this other idea that she talks about, that there are no guarantees in life. If you do this, that doesn't guarantee that you'll have a perfect life. If you do this other thing, it doesn't guarantee you'll have a terrible life. If you do this thing, it doesn't mean you'll have an easy life. I was always looking for the easy path, I guess, thinking that there was an easy path. There is no easy path. There are just paths, and no matter which way you choose, which one you choose to walk, they will just have different sets of challenges, that's all. So choose which set you want, I guess, when you can. So we do have choices. We can control some things, not everything, but the things that we can control, choose well. We can choose well. We can use wisdom. We can take the time we need to reflect. And, I'm always talking about in the intentional life about, getting in touch with yourself, knowing what your values are, and living according to them. And if you can at least do that, you'll still have pain and suffering along the way, but at least you can be content knowing that you're living according to your values. That's for me anyway. And this idea that, we can just have this freedom to choose, and sometimes we are paralyzed, and sometimes we're too afraid to make a choice because we're afraid that we'll make a wrong choice, or we're afraid that our choice will bring on something bad or whatever. But the idea that, every choice that we make will have it will bring its own set of challenges. So just choose something. Just choose something. Do something. Choose. Live. Don't hold back. Live fully with your whole heart. It's going to get hurt many times, no matter what you choose. Again, it's how we respond. I don't know if this is uplifting at all to people, but for me, it's very comforting, it's very uplifting, it's very comforting, encouraging, and I don't know, it could to some people sound pessimistic, it could sound horrible, but for me, from my journey and where I've come from, I guess, with my own searching and trying different things and being human, for me, this is a very encouraging thing to just know, yep, there's no perfect life out there. There's no, one path that will be easy and comfortable and pain-free. No. It's just the choices that you can make day by day. Choose well, choose wisely, do the best you can, but choose something, and then respond well to whatever happens along the way. And yes, sometimes we're not always going to respond well, but again, each day is another chance to respond well the next time. So yeah, to me, I don't know, it's very, very encouraging, and I hope that it speaks to someone who may have similar thoughts to me, or who may have had a similar journey to me in this. Let me know if this is encouraging, because my hope, of course, with anything that I share is for it to bring a bit of comfort and light and hope and love to people. I don't want to make anyone feel sad and depressed about the world in these videos, but sometimes when I talk about the realities of life, that it's painful and that there will always be challenges, I worry maybe that some people could take away the message from this as, oh, doom and gloom and everything's bad. That's not my message here. My message here is that despite the pain and suffering and challenges, we still can live the best we can, and we can still live according to our values, and we can still try again when we fail, and we can still apologize when we hurt someone, and we can forgive when someone hurts us, and we can take time to reflect and take time to be where we are and just appreciate where we are, knowing that it won't last. Again, that might be not a great thing for some people to hear, but yeah, for me, this is a very philosophical video perhaps, but this helps me with just my even mental health and well-being, and I hope that it is helpful for someone out there as well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. A big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in June. I could not do this without you, so thank you so much for helping me do this channel and be a full-time creative. If you would like to become a patron, there is a link to my Patreon down below in the description box, where you get access to extra videos and printables and mail and journals, depending on what tier that you would like to support me at. You can also check my journaling courses down below in the description box, and all the different places to find me there too.